Stretch bigs have dominated 2K for many years, but in recent 2Ks, we have been a little bit let down with them. But here in 2K25, I believe that stretch bigs, pure stretch bigs, are finally back. What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Risk, and I am back with another banger. Now, in today's video, as you already saw, I'll be showing off the best stretch big build on NBA 2K25. And when I say best, I mean the best all-around stretch big build. This build will have a little bit of everything. It's going to be able to do every single thing on the court, and you're going to be able to actually use this build in the competitive scene, whether that's in the stage, the proving grounds, pro-am, etc, etc, etc. And the best part about it is that this build is still going to give you that OG pure stretch vibe to it that a lot of you guys are searching for in 2K25. Now, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you are new, please drop a like and hit that big red subscribe button and turn notification bell on and set it to all notifications so you can be notified every time I upload videos like these in the future. And with that being said, let's get right on into the build. So we're going to kick things off here with our position and other attributes here. Starting off, we're going to go with a power forward, height 6'11", weight 210, and wingspan 7 inches long, or feet. Now, the reason I went with these things is simply because this is a pure stretch. I wanted to give me those vibes, you know, those OG 2K vibes where you're shooting over people, which you could already do in this game. And I feel like being 6'11" is going to give us an extra advantage in that department. Lowering the weight is going to give us faster speed, which is very important for me. I don't want my player to feel clunky, to feel slow, despite being so much taller than your typical center on this game. And then dropping that wingspan a little bit allows us to get Hall of Fame and even legendary shooting badges on this build. So starting things off here, we're going to start with our finishing attributes. And like I said, this build is going to be very well rounded. We're going to kick things off here with an 88 close shot. You're probably not going to see many builds in this game with a higher close shot than that, but the only reason it is like that is simply because of my mid-range. It kind of upgrades that close shot automatically. But with that 88 close shot and now an 80 driving layup, you're going to get badges like Physical Finisher, Paint Prodigy, and these badges are going to really help you excel in the paint. You're going to miss a lot less layups, you're going to hit a lot more contested, and that's a big issue in this game. You tend to miss a lot of open layups, especially against undersized players, and this will actually combat that very well. And alongside with that, we're going to have an 80 driving dunk. So no, this build is not going to get contacts, but in my opinion on this game, you don't even need contacts, all right? With an 80 driving dunk, you're going to unlock every single finishing or dunk animation that you need to be successful in this game. You're going to get a lot of those athletic one-handers, those fist rim pull-ups, those park dunks. All of those dunk animations you will get with an 80 driving dunk, which is why, in my opinion, that is the sweet spot for dunk ratings in this game. Plus, you also get bronze posterizer with that once we upgrade our vertical. Standing dunk is going to be a 76. Now, this would be the only thing some would argue that you could upgrade higher, or if you wanted to, for a build at 6'11" to get more dunks instead of layup animations. So if you would like to, you could drop the driving dunk and up the standing, but in my opinion, for my play style, I like to have the ball in my hands. I like to dribble a little bit. I like to move, and I prefer just to have driving dunk, and I just find it more flashy. I'm a more flashy kind of play style. Standing dunk's a little boring to me, but you could like to do what you want with that. Post control, we're going to keep at a 64. We're not going to touch that. And now moving into our shooting, we're going to max out this mid-range at a 93 mid-range. And like I said, you see that set shot specialist go Hall of Fame. With the +1, it has the potential to go legendary status, all right? And that's what makes this build really fun. And that's ultimately why we're really upgrading our mid-range. If it wasn't for badges, we wouldn't probably be touching our mid-range. It's not something I shoot often. But we're doing it purely for badges. But aside from that, we're getting that 3-point shot to an 85, so it's going to be pretty up there in rating. You're going to have a higher 3-point shot than probably any center you play against, and it's going to also unlock you bronze limitless range, which is going to be very helpful to make more shots, as it does give you a nice little bonus. Free throw, we're going to take to a 69. Don't judge me. Now, playmaking, we're going to neglect the pass accuracy. We're going to leave it at only a 55. So we're not completely neglecting it because we are getting that bronze dimer. But ultimately, with every build in this game, you have to pick something to give up. And pass accuracy, so far in my experience on this game, is something I'm willing to give up. Obviously, having that higher is nice, but it's something that, while low, you could play with it. As you see, ball handle we're going to take to a 75. Is going to get you that bronze unpluckable, that bronze handles for days. Then we're going to take speed of ball to a 68 to get bronze lightning launch. Now this is going to allow us to get a lot of basic dribble animations, but pretty good ones. You're going to get, you know, the Zion dribbled style and stuff like that. It's going to actually help us really create shots off the dribble. And it's just going to make this build feel that much better, that much smoother, and that much overpowered. Now, defense. We're going to take this interior defense to a 79 interior defense, which this is actually higher than my comp center 6'9 popper build, which I have a 77 on. This actually has higher interior defense. Now, perimeter defense is where this build lacks in steel, but I think it's actually still pretty solid. We're going to take that to a 71 and our steel to a 67. It's going to get you pretty much every perimeter badge on bronze, like Challenger, off-ball pass you actually get on silver, immovable force you'll get on bronze later on, and steel you're going to get glove and interceptor, which obviously the actual steel rating itself I don't actually like having that too high because you're not going to get a lot of on-ball steals in this game. And so far, actually, while playing with this build, with this bronze interceptor and 67 steel, I've gotten a lot more lane steals than I have on a lot of other builds. And I think the height of this build might be contributing to that because you could actually play those lanes just a little bit better. Now, block is going to be our best defensive attribute at an 88, and there's a couple reasons why we're doing this. One, I think having a higher block rating is going to be a little bit cheaper than actually having a higher interior defense, and it's going to allow us to get these badges that will in turn help us in the interior department. Like Paint Patroller, we're going to get that on silver with the potential with cap breakers. Now that we're talking about cap breakers, I would be applying my +5 once you hit that to your block to get it to a 93 block to get that gold Paint Patroller. It will also allow you to get gold Pogo Stick and gold High Flying Denier, which as a tier 2 badge, you would also be able to +1 this badge and possibly get it on Hall of Fame. So once you have all that, the defense does not look that bad for being a considered, or what I'm considering it, a pure stretch build or a playmaking stretch. You would think you'd have no defense, but our defense is actually pretty solid. Now, offensive rebound, we're going to take to a 55 and defensive rebound to an 80. I prefer to have offensive rebound, but it is a lot cheaper, especially on taller builds, to go with a higher defensive rebound. And having it at 80 allows us to get box out beast on bronze and then rebound chaser on silver. And you'll see later on when I upgrade my vertical, that's kind of how I rely on to get rebounds on this build. I try to use my height and my vertical, which so far in playing with this build, it has actually turned out pretty well. I actually get a lot of good rebounds because you have to remember, you're playing a lot of undersized centers out there. You're not going against a lot of 6'11s or 7-footers. So you're going to have an advantage in that department, which will help you kind of mitigate that lower defensive rebound rating. Speed and agility, we're taking to a 77 and a 73. For one, this allows us to get gold shifty shooter, which is going to make this build just a lot more overpowered on offense. But like I said, I don't like my builds being slow. I don't like my builds being clunky and stiff. So it was very important to me to get those up. And in doing so, I sacrificed a decent amount of strength, only having it at a 73. But so far my experience on this build, it hasn't hurt me too bad because you do get all these important badges on at least bronze and silver, even badges that you get on bronze like brick wall. I mean, I've been setting some pretty good screens, arguably better screens than some players I've seen with legendary brick wall. And like I said, I think it has something to do with just the height of the build, the wingspan potentially. There's a couple other factors. Post move lockdown's another one. Having that just on bronze is a lot better than having it on nothing. And even on bronze is going to make a huge difference. And last but not least, our vertical, we're taking to an 80. Like I said, vertical is something I want to rely on a lot on this build. And it's going to help us get all these badges right here that you see lighting up. And it's going to just help, like I said, with a number of different things like getting rebounds, getting better contest, getting better blocks, and better dunks. And we actually have a couple attributes left over here, which you actually could elect to go with anywhere with these. I'll give you guys some leeway with this. You could take it to 77 or 78 speed. You could up your interior to 80, or you could even up your free throw, or even your standing dunk or driving by 1. But with that being said, that's pretty much all I got for you guys for this video. This is the entire build. I think this build is very overpowered. As you see, it's probably one of the only center builds out there that can do literally everything across the board. Every stat's a plus 70 pretty much on this build. And yeah, this is a very fun build. I plan to, make a lot of videos with this build. I already have it made, and I've been labbing it up, getting those badges maxed and all that. And yeah, so if you find this video helpful, you've liked the build, drop a like on the video, hit that red subscribe button, turn the notification bell on and set it to all notifications so you can be notified every time I upload videos like these in the future. And with that being said, it's your boy Risk, and I'm out.